Hi, everybody. We're excited to present this webinar to you on using online immersive research to reveal unexpected human truths. At Insights Now, we define an insight as an unexpected human truth against which you can take action. So we always work to find them, even online. I'm Karen Lynch, Senior Director of Qualitative Insights here at Insights Now. I'm honored to have collaborated on this webinar with two intelligent and skilled research directors, Jacqueline Lapoma, one of our brilliant research directors, and Jenny O'Connor, a talented qualitative specialist who moderates much of the online immersive research we conduct here. For those of you who are less familiar with Insights Now, let me first explain that we believe that if we can change the way we look at humans and our beliefs about why products succeed, we will improve speed to and success in market. And this belief drives our behavior-focused approach to research. We apply behavioral approaches to brand positioning and planning research, innovation and product development research, and marketing and messaging research. With empathy as our foundational value, we see a customer's journey in a new light, focusing on what motivates people in a given moment and what subconsciously cues them during their product experiences. And today, we're going to explore how we do that with online immersive research. So a little bit of housekeeping before we begin. Please use the chat function built into this platform if you have any questions or if you want to give any comments throughout the conversation. We will make sure we address those questions at the end. So for now, what we're going to do is we're going to practice that function with a little question for you. Go ahead and type right in the chat box the answer to this question. What has been your favorite show to binge watch? What has been your favorite show to binge watch? I see the first one up is Stranger Things. That happens to be a favorite of mine too. We actually talked when we were planning this about whether or not we needed to include a slide about what the upside down is like in the world of online immersives. So that one resonates with us for sure. We have the OC on Hulu. Excellent. We have Heartland. That's cool too. And Curb Your Enthusiasm. Very neat, very neat. Well, you're about to find out why, why we're here in the context of three shows that Jacqueline, Jenny, and myself have binge watched, as we use them as metaphorical examples of three different phases of online immersions, from pre-project planning to project execution and then post-project analysis.
This is Jacqueline. Let's take a moment to talk about the internal challenges we all have at the start of a qual project. It's necessary to set expectations before the study starts. Trying to twist results to meet everyone's need after completion runs the risk of drawing wrong conclusions. Just as risky is having too many research objectives in one study. It's rare that one project will answer all of the questions for the entire company. Set priorities and be realistic in your expectations. Just like a TV show plot is rarely resolved in one episode. I mean, how long has Jon Snow been predicting winter is coming? Part of setting realistic expectations is explaining qual will never replace quant, no matter how much your stakeholders wish it would. As researchers, we have all heard very powerful comments from a single consumer. While not statistically significant, their value is still immense. These are the aha moments that shape true innovation. There is a place for qual and quant in all research, but the nature of their output is very different. Something to keep in mind during the qual project is your screener was created to select those binge-worthy consumers. These consumers are comfortable sharing their world online. Trust your screener and grab the popcorn. All right, so the team has agreed on the research objective and approach. Now is the time to map out the questions that need answers to ensure the research objective is met. Working as a team to design the moderator guide will ensure you cover the team's key questions. Keep your eye on the objective when designing the guide. Don't worry about covering all potential topics. The moderator will probe discussions, and this is where they uncover unexpected insights.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline. So let's, and now you all see what one of Jacqueline's favorite shows to binge watch has been. Let's look at another show for another analogy. And this one's my favorite, This Is Us. It's a hit because of its authenticity. On this show, they tackle real life issues like obesity, anxiety, interracial adoption in the foster care system, drug and alcohol addiction, and fighting cancer. The actors are incredibly vulnerable, and as I watch it, I approach it with empathy, and usually that results in a tear or two down my face as well. When you're doing online immersive research, the individuals you care about, whether a current customer or a target consumer, they allow themselves to be particularly vulnerable. They really show their human side. It's partially because they're comfortable in their own homes. And they also have a feeling of anonymity from the technological barrier. Plus, they trust our setup and the disclosures that we share ahead of time to set the stage. And as we watch, we learn who they are and we learn how they behave. They participate in a way that gives us insights because they want to be understood. We see into people's homes during online immersions much like we would in an in-home interview or an ethnographic study. We can learn about behaviors through journaling or diary type exercises. We observe their behaviors by asking for video uploads. We get glimpses into their values and their perception of brands and brand imagery through photo uploads. With these photos, we literally see into their refrigerators or their pantries, their grocery bags, their medicine cabinets or makeup drawers, their garages, or even their cars. We can see not only what products are there, but who is vying for an individual share of wallet, who's in the competitive set in terms of the alternate brands. We can also understand behaviors before or after a CLT or a home use test. And by understanding these behaviors before and after the introduction of a new product, we can understand the true impact a product has on consumers' lives. So during online immersive research, we can prime an individual by anchoring them in a given moment. So say, like this one, when a family enjoys their favorite show together. We go beyond exploring what food and beverage choices people make in a moment, and we look at the moments that led to or would follow the moment of consumption. We look to learn about the emotions present in the moment and the goals and the ideals that are present also. We seek to fully understand what is at stake in the moment they are experiencing a product, the present mood, and the aspirational mood. And we tie it all together by exploring the subconscious cues that a brand would need to leverage or avoid to be a part of that particular moment. So if you take a look at this image and you see there's one big bowl of popcorn here, clearly it was something that was going to be shared amongst all of them. So maybe Jack Pearson had this desire to connect with his family, to share a communal bowl of popcorn, if you will, versus a different moment where maybe everybody just needs to decompress and have their own time in front of the TV with their own individual bowls. So those are the types of goals and aspirations that could be present in any given moment. Plus, it could be that this is a family that normally would say, you know what, we really need to have water, but I haven't really spent time with my kids and I want them to feel really good about our relationship, so I'm going to indulge them a little bit with a fruit punch and a soda, for instance. We understand the moment of what's going on with the person who's making those decisions. Let me share a couple case studies with you. So one, for instance, that we'll talk about, a client had a business challenge that was a personal care brand, and there were several SKUs in the product line, and they had seen decreasing sales over the past year. So to gain a strong understanding of the barriers and attractors for each product in the brand's product line, we took a look at product offerings, the attributes, the behaviors, and we looked at the uniqueness and the point of differentiation versus the competitive set. And our outcome there was, yeah, we took a deep dive into consumer behaviors and motivations and moments of usage. But real importantly, we got a geographically dispersed sample of both lost and loyal users. So we did a national sampling instead of just who we might get in one local or two local markets. We were able to develop several hypotheses as to what was driving the decline in sales, and we were able to approach that from both a sensory and a marketing standpoint. And finally, we got actionable insights into those cues that were either allowing for or detracting from an individual's achievement of a higher end benefit. And here's another one. This team was working on, in an innovation effort, development of an enhanced product idea within the store-bought party platter category. So we set out to learn what makes for a successful party platter versus one that added pain points to an event or would be considered boring. So to understand what a product must have and must avoid in terms of ingredients and packaging and benefits and sensorial cues, we went online. The outcome there was, again, a deep dive into the moment of discovery, in addition to the moment of usage and the actual moment of experience with the party platter to get at the successes and fails of a product. We were able to identify enhancements that could be made during the R&D process, right, along the lines of optimization, and ultimately provide a product that had more benefits with optimal ingredients, store positioning, and consumer-friendly packaging. So now these are examples of ad hoc research projects, right? The two I just shared. If you really want to binge watch, you can consider recruiting into a community where you deep dive into the behaviors and moments that matter for your brand over time. So for example, we have a clean label enthusiast community, and that gives a long-term look into the lives and lifestyles of those individuals who are representing this important point of view for both, again, marketing and R&D purposes. We get to see what they're doing, not just what their passions and values are and learn from them, but see how their behaviors change over time. In one moment to the next.
Hi, Jenny here, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what happens when the study is closed, the participants have all gone away. What happens with the data and the reporting? How do you wrestle through all the data, much like the characters of Glow? So first, let's take a look at what does online qual data look like. So let's say you have a study of about 25 participants. It lasted 5 days, and it was a diary journaling type study where participants logged on and they uploaded videos and photos each day. They answered open and closed-ended questions, and they had conversations with the moderator. So what would you have at the end? You'd have over 4 hours of video, over 125 photos, and 25 transcripts for each of those participants. And these transcripts can come in either Word or Excel or even a web page, and they can be organized in many different ways by either the activities, the participants themselves, or segments. So this is a lot of data, and it can be overwhelming. You know, your moderator will take care of looking through it all, but for you, what's important? How do you go about organizing this information? So how do you succeed in analysis? Here are some tips for how to go about everything. So allow for more time. Unlike in person, after focus groups are done, you can typically receive a top line within a day. Give your moderator a little bit more time because they have to organize all that information and take a quick look through to make sure that they have a good gut check. Have a plan. So from the beginning, when you make that discussion guide, communicate with your moderator. If you are hoping to have a video reel of a specific question, or if you're hoping to have a word cloud, or maybe you're just kind of trying to get the pulse of a certain reaction, or if you need a deeper dive, this will help the moderator understand where they need to concentrate their information and go on from there and help
design the analysis plan. And use your team. So while the research is going on, don't wait until the very end to try to understand all the data. Do it while it's all going on. So the advantage of online call is that you can log in and you can look at any time. And clients are always very excited about that, and they have the best of intentions, but reality hits and everybody is very busy. So set up a plan for your team to look at the study as it's going on periodically, maybe assign people specific days and set a time limit, because just like binge watching, you can end up going down a rabbit hole and watching for a very long time. So say, you know, one person will watch on Monday for an hour or two and then summarize what they're seeing back to the participants, back to the group. Also set up a meeting midway through the project to meet with a moderator and talk about what you're seeing and what you're noticing. This is akin to having someone go back to the back room with questions. So take advantage of the ability to look at the online study as it's going on. Okay, so what to expect when reporting? Obviously, the data is very different than in person. So what you're going to see is going to be a little bit different. So you're going to have authentic photos and videos. And these are great because the participants are really bringing you into their homes and really showing you everything. But unfortunately, most likely, your participants are not professional photographers or videographers. So they're taking videos by themselves, and these videos may be shaky, or they may be poor lighting. It's, you know, that's something to expect. Just really try to concentrate on what they're telling you and what they're giving you insight into. Transcripts to quotes. So when you're doing an in-person call, the quotes are actually coming from what someone is saying. The quotes in an online qualitative report may be from a written text that the participants gave you. So that's important to understand, because in written text, people can go back and edit and change. So they're just a little different. Both have their strengths and weaknesses, but something to understand. Detailed storytelling happens amazing with online call. So we often send participants home with homework for a focus group before they come in, and those typically take form in writing a letter or a collage or a storytelling. And this, when they come back, we notice that they provide such great detail. And, you know, we really see this because they can do this at home and they can take their time. And that applies to online call as well. So we often hear a lot of concern about whether you're going to be able to dive deep like you were in person and you could ask a follow-up question immediately. And it's really important just to understand the advantage of having participants in the comfort of their own home and allowing more time than a quick top-of-mind reaction. And also, the moderator can probe after, so we get more of that detailed storytelling through that as well. Videos to set the stage. So a lot of time we do use videos in an online call project, and these really help let you know the tone and the feeling of the research and really show you and create empathy for your participants. These videos are typically of the person looking at the camera instead of, you know, a profile picture of someone at a long table, and it's kind of even hard to tell who's talking. This is the participant talking directly to you. So these can be very moving pieces to the report.
So that's great. Thank you. You know, at Insights Now, we have seen these online immersive approaches providing the behavioral insights that our clients need, so their products and messages are more relevant and more meaningful, which in turn makes them more successful. But sometimes people don't behave the way we expect them to behave. So to be successful in market, we need to learn and not rely on our own assumptions and our own behaviors. And we may not always know what we're going to anticipate. We may have some of our hypotheses may prove wrong once we learn how people really behave. But we are not necessarily just like the people in our groups or in our online bulletin board style projects. However, we need to understand them because they are the people that ultimately we hope will purchase and use our products. That's why online is the new in person. Yeah, I just want to leave you, or before we wrap up, provide you with just a few quotes from clients. What we did was we reached out to a few people that we've worked with on these types of projects. And there were a few things that we addressed earlier in our webinar, but this one in particular, Jenny had mentioned how you can log in at your own time, so there's no interview to miss. That's really important because I know a lot of times when people are viewing in the back room at a focus group facility, there's conference calls going on, and they don't want to miss any content, yet they also don't want to miss important meetings back at the office. So the asynchronous nature of these online boards really allows work to get done while the binge watching is happening, if you will. And another one that I thought was really worth sharing is the fact that in a short amount of time, which could have taken a lot longer, we can meet these tight deadlines without sacrificing the quality of the work. I know Jenny talked a little bit about allowing for time on the back end on that analysis. And again, that's just really because there's such a quantity of information that comes in. But where we save time is in the upfront. We can save time in executing it. It's quick to recruit. It's quick to get these programs so that you can get into the field at a faster pace. And of course, we had said earlier that increasing speed to market is one of our goals here at Insights Now, and that includes increasing our speed to, test market, if you will, and getting in front of our consumers. So at this point, we're going to answer a few questions that have come in, and if there's any more, please feel free to type them in. But this one came in a little bit earlier that I'm going to share, and that is about the number of participants. It says, what is the number of participants in an average online immersion? Jenny, I'm going to kick this one over to you, if that's all right. You feel like you can take this one?
Oh, definitely. That is a great question. So I would say the best number is between 20 and 30. Once you hit about 40, you're going to want to start considering using 2 moderators for your study just to make sure that nothing's being missed. Also, when you're thinking about the number of participants you're going to have, remember that over-recruit is handled a little differently with online call than in person. So in person, when we have over recruit, we select the people who are going to have the focus group with, and then we send the rest home, the rest of the over recruit home. In online, that's a little different because you actually put the over recruit into the study and they become actual participants, and you're waiting till the end till you see how the numbers all fall. So that can really impact how many people a moderator is moderating.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you. So here's another one. What are some creative activities? What are some creative activities? Jenny, you want to field that one too?
Sure. So really the possibilities are limited. You cannot go wrong with any of the creative activities as long as they're tried and tested. A lot of the things that we do as in person with personification or letter writing or storytelling, collages, those can all be transferred to online. And these are all tools that we have in our toolbox that we're very comfortable with, and we have a system already around that, and it's just a matter of making it accessible and easy to use online. So endless possibilities when you're looking at different ways to go about it.
Very cool. Very cool. And I'll add, you can talk to anytime you want to, talk through that with your, research team. You're only limited by your own creativity, so that's cool. Thank you. If you have other questions that you didn't add into the chat box to me personally or to the group, feel free to reach out to any of us afterwards. So the last slide that I'll put up is our email addresses. So you can reach out to us and ask us any follow-up questions. We're always happy to talk about it because we are pretty enthralled with the methodology. One thing I just want to share with you guys, when we were talking about this internally, we decided to give you an offer, extend an offer to the viewers on this webinar. We have 3 remaining slots available for an immersion into the holiday missions, trip missions, sending them out into stores for clean label enthusiasts. We're sending them out to see how they're preparing for their holiday gatherings. Holidays at this time of year in particular, it's very unique in terms of the rest of the year, and we're curious as to how shopping and product behaviors change as people are preparing for these gatherings and these special events that they have, and also how they're, what they're preparing to serve in terms of food or entertainment, but also how they're preparing themselves personally. Maybe there's some personal care that's going on there. So if there's a mission that you'd like to send a clean label enthusiast out, please reach out to us and we can talk to you further about that. This flyer, actually I saved it as a PDF and it should be available in the download section of your webinar. And we also, I think, can follow up via email and send it out to you. So if you're interested in this, feel free to reach out to us, but we'll certainly follow up as well. And that's our webinar today, folks. What we did was we talked about overcoming internal challenges that could make you feel like a cast member of Game of Thrones. We took a look at how you can get an ethnographic glimpse into humankind and human behavior and people's unique lives and their wonderful connections, just like watching This Is Us. And finally, we shared a little bit about what you can expect from the analysis portion of an online project, an online immersion, and how the insights gleaned can help set you up to beat the competition as if you were a character in Glow. So I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back the first week of January with our next webinar. I'm sure that if you were invited to this one, those same channels will be at work to invite you to the next one. So in the meanwhile, have a great month and we'll see you in January. Thanks so much, everybody.